All right, guys, we're going to start the show soon here. Looking forward to connecting with you guys today. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you are watching. Hit that like button for us and share the show on all the social media platforms you're watching upon. We are live across all of them. We work hard for you, and the only thing we ask in return is you liking and sharing the show on any of the social media platforms you're watching the program upon. A lot we're going to cover on today's program. Very excited of the guest we have on Friday. On Friday's show, Lee Vogler. I think it's Vogler? Vogler? Lee Vogler is going to join us on Friday. Lee is a three-term city councilman in Danville. Three-term city councilman in Danville, Virginia. In fact, Lee, the youngest vice mayor in the history of Danville, a three-term city councilman in Danville, a member of the Danville Kiwanis Club, and in 2017, he was awarded the Local Legislator of the Year by the Virginia chapter of the American Planning Association. The dude is bona fide. He's going to join us on Friday's show to discuss Danville's push for a designated outdoor refreshment area and the incremental tax revenue that corresponds with the DORA. On tomorrow's show, we have James Pierce, the CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Clubs. James and the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Clubs are opening a new facility behind Albemarle High School. A lot we're going to cover with them on tomorrow and Friday's edition of the program. Today, we're going to talk the Charlottesville Dogwood Carnival moving to the Kmart lot. You heard me correctly. The Charlottesville Dogwood Carnival is moving to the Kmart lot, a carnival on asphalt, April 14th to May 1. A lot we're going to cover on the show. Give it a like, give it a share anywhere you are watching. Jack Maxwell, I did see that approval of the Bird Street development with Frank Bailiff and Southern. We talked about that yesterday with Nancy Gill, former mayor of Charlottesville, your friend, my friend. And we highlighted the potential for 37 new rooftops coming to Scottsville. Also on today's program, there's a thrift store locally that's for sale. The asking price is $25,000. I have that nitty-gritty for you. Scott Airworth in Virginia Beach, hello. We'll talk tuition in Virginia. I posted something on the I Love CVille network this morning that is now going viral. Tuition in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, ain't cheap. William & Mary leads the charge, and it's by a long shot. The College of William & Mary and my old stopping grounds, Williamsburg. The University of Virginia is 2 from a tuition standpoint. Give the show a like and a share anywhere you are watching. We're going to have a fantastic program for you on the Wednesday edition of this fair show. Judah Wickhauer is our director. I can rock and roll in T-minus 7 seconds. Judah Wickhauer. Guys, good Wednesday afternoon. I'm Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We are live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love Cville network. A lot I want to cover on the Wednesday edition of the show, including a look on the guests, a look ahead to the guests that we're going to welcome to the program, including tomorrow's show, James Pierce, friend of the show, the CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Clubs, a man whose organization is having an incredibly positive impact in our community. The Central Virginia Boys and Girls Clubs have a new facility that is on the horizon of opening, and this new facility has an interesting aspect to it. It will have 4 squash courts within the facility. Located behind Albemarle High School, James will feature and spotlight the new facility on tomorrow's show, and we will also talk about his tenure as the CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Club. The gentleman, James Pierce, I believe is a William and Mary graduate. James, you are a College of William and Mary graduate, right? Football player for Mike London at William and Mary, right? Quarterback. Mike London, William and Mary. He is retiring, stepping down from his position that he's had for more than a decade of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Club. We'll spotlight his tenure at the club. We'll talk about the new facility and the squash courts that they are building, and just champion and highlight a man and an organization that have done incredible work for this community for a long, long time. Vanessa Parkhill, the Queen of Earlysville, hello and welcome to the show. Erin King, Queen of Scottsville and one of Western Albemarle High School's finest graduates. Hello, Erin King. Welcome to the show. David Varell, I see you watching in Virginia Beach. The Queen of Jack Jewett, Carol Thorpe. Hello and welcome to the show, along with Scott Aaronworth, the King of Virginia Beach. A lot I want to cover on today's show. I also want to highlight the Dogwood Carnival. Why the Dogwood Carnival would be moving to an asphalt lot that used to be home to Kmart, I don't know. But that's where it's going. And in April and this coming May, the Dogwood Carnival will not be on grass with shaded trees, will not be on land that does not radiate heat. Instead, it will be in front of a closed Kmart retail location. We will highlight that on today's program and ask the question, is an asphalt lot the right place for a carnival that means so much to this community? Also on today's show, I'm going to let you know about another business that's for sale. We love relaying business listings to you. This one, a $25,000 asking price. You heard me correctly. $25K for a thrift store in Charlottesville. We'll let you know which one and what we think of the deal. We'll talk tuition on today's program. I posted an infographic this morning across the I Love Cville network about tuition and fees for Virginia public colleges, 2021-2022 school year. The College of William and Mary in my old stomping grounds of Williamsburg has the highest tuition and fees by far, $23,812 a year. Remember, this is tuition and fees. This is not room and board. This is not books. This is not additional spending money. Money that also needs to be allocated for travel to and from the university, for visits to your offspring. William & Mary, tuition and fees for one school year for in-state kids, in-state students, $23,812. The number one most expensive in-state public school by a long shot in the Commonwealth. Number two is the University of Virginia at $17,410. Virginia Commonwealth University is 3 at $15,028. Christopher Newport University is 4 at $14,924. And Virginia Tech rounds out the top 5. The Hokies, $14,175. College is astronomically expensive. The numbers I just gave you are tuition and fees alone, and not room, board, spending money, books. I'm going to talk about this on today's network, and I'm going to ask all the parents. My wife and I are a parent of a fantastic son. Granted, he's 4. But to pay for your kid to go to college, are you not only mortgaging your future, but do you need some, is it frankincense, myrrh?
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Do you need some gold, frankincense, and myrrh? The 3 wise men. Baby Jesus. A stable with some donkeys and some hay, Mary and Joseph, and a son in swaddling clothing. Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
Is that now what is required to go to college? A mortgage of your future and some gold, frankincense, and some myrrh? That question on the I Love Seville show today. We will also highlight, my friends, on this fair program, a University of Virginia men's basketball team whose season fell short and ended last night against St. Bonaventure in the John Paul Jones Arena. The quarterfinals of the NIT. I want to reflect and wax nostalgic on the season and one Key A. Clark's career, a point guard of tremendous proportions that will forever live in cherished memories for yours truly. Thank you kindly for joining us, guys, on the Wednesday edition of the I Love Seville show. Judah Wickhauer and Jerry Miller are here to entertain, educate, enlighten for the next half hour to 45 minutes. Skooma Boutique Dispensary, a part of the program. Skooma Boutique Dispensary, the best dispensary in the city of Charlottesville. Skooma Boutique Dispensary, located in the Charlottesville downtown mall next to Rapture. And folks, we thank Greenberry's Coffee for being a part of the program. Enter to win free coffee for a year, Greenberry's free coffee for a year through this URL. And Judah, if you have a branding banner or a lower third that we can put on screen, the top line could be Greenberry's, win free coffee for a year from Greenberry's. And the bottom line, enter through this URL and put the URL on there. If you want to win free coffee for the year, the URL is enter.greenberries.com. Enter.greenberries.com. Do it now, do it fast, do it furious, because there is nothing more addicting than what's in this cup right here, and that's coffee. All right, before we get to the Dogwood Festival or the Dogwood Carnival, going to an asphalt black top in front of a retail store that is now out of business, and that's the Dogwood Carnival. Before we get to a thrift store that's for sale currently for $25,000, frankly, I think it's a pretty damn good deal. I'm going to tell you why this business is for sale for $25K, which business is for sale for $25K, and why I think it is a good deal spending $25,000 of your smackaroos to buy a thrift store. We'll talk tuition. We'll do a snapshot on James Pierce, my boy, the CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Clubs, who's coming on the program tomorrow. And I really want you to mark this calendar. In fact, let's start knocking on the doors of city councilors, sending them emails, Facebook messages, tweets, @sibling them, and linking to them on social media. On the Friday edition of the I Love Seville show, Lee Vogler, a 3-term Danville, Virginia city councilor, will join us on the program to highlight the designated outdoor refreshment area planned for Danville. Ladies and gentlemen, the thriving metropolis of Danville, Virginia, currently is out innovating, out policying, and out jurisdictional leading the city of Charlottesville when it comes to incremental revenue in a designated outdoor refreshment area. That topic on this program on Friday with the three-term city councilor Lee Vogler himself. The start of the program, my friends, is undoubtedly going to be what I witnessed last night in the John Paul Jones Arena. Heartbreak, headache, frustration, depression, demoralization, disgust, downtroddenness. UVA falls to St. Bonaventure. A game undoubtedly the Wahoos should have won. They were the more talented team. They were the deeper team. They were playing on their own home floor. They were favored by the odds makers in Vegas to win the ball game. Missed free throws down the stretch. Cost Bennett's boys, Tony Bennett's bunch, from getting a victory and a semifinal appearance in the NIT in Madison Square Garden. Tough way for the season to close. A bitter, sour season, no doubt. And certainly a tough way for Kie Clark to finish what is otherwise a distinguished college basketball career. A 5'7" point guard who chose Virginia amongst only one other offer. Now, I understand many of us in Wahoo Nation are feeling a little doom and gloom today. And that's allowed, permissible. It's part of being a fan. We allocate hours, days, travel, money to this program because we love them. We love them. And there's no team of all professional or college that I love to follow more than college basketball and the University of Virginia. My wife and I, now our 4-year-old son, we routinely schedule around basketball games and watching them as a family. Now, I get that we're feeling bummed, but I want to say a couple of things from a glass is half full perspective. The people that are hating on Kie Clark right now, shame on you. Kie Clark, a 5'7" point guard in the Atlantic Coast Conference, who plays much larger than his stature. A young man who made the most important pass in Virginia basketball history to Mamadi Diakite, a pass that led to a national championship. Kie Clark, a scrappy on-ball defender, a young man with a massive heart who constantly exceeded expectations and overachieved. Kie Clark, a young man who never got in trouble off the court. Kie Clark, a national champion. Kie Clark, an all-ACC performer. Kie Clark, a 1,000-plus point scorer for UVA. Shaming or putting this young man down, like I'm seeing on social media, is uncalled for. We should champion and cherish Kie Clark for generations to come. I cannot wait to tell stories to my son about a 5'7" point guard who played in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Not just a player, but a starter, 1,000-point scorer, an all-ACC recognized player, one of the best all-on-the-ball defenders of his 4 years in the ACC, and folks, a national champion. Moms and dads watching this program, our kids likely will not grow up to be 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" basketball players with 35, 37, and 40-inch verticals. Judah Wickower says his son may grow up to be like that. Now what we got to do is we got to find Judah Wickower a partner and who is tall, because Judah on a good day stands 5'5", 5'6" in Timberlands. So he needs to find a 7'2" partner. Look, guys, our kids aren't going to grow up to be 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", most likely. They're not going to have 35, 40-inch verticals, most likely. Our kids are going to be much more likely to be 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". What makes Steph Curry so approachable and likable in the National Basketball Association? You know what it is? He ain't that tall. His game is centered around a jump shot as opposed to playing above the rim. That's why kids relate to Steph Curry. Kihei Clark is the poster child of an athlete that a mom and dad can say to their son or daughter, anything can happen if you want to pursue a basketball dream. Kihei played in the ACC and was a national champion and an all-ACC performer and a 1,000-plus point scorer. And he did it as a 5'7" player in one of the stiffest conferences from a competition standpoint in the country. And the idea of shaming or ridiculing or insulting athletes that are playing college ball, I get frustration. And I get you can say he made a mistake. But now it's just getting personal for some folks. We need to look back on the man's career and realize we were blessed to have him in a UVA uniform. Blessed. And if he wasn't in the UVA uniform, you can make a legitimate argument we may not be national champions today. So let's cut the nonsense out. And let's realize, A, he's 22 and not a professional basketball player yet. Let's realize, B, he overachieved massively and significantly over his career. Let's realize he's a key component of the national championship team. And he represented the University of Virginia with honor and class and not 1 ounce of negativity, of trouble off the court from that young man. And when I talk about basketball and pursuing dreams with my son, who undoubtedly is sports focused as a 4-year-old, I mean, I'm already seeing the kid love balls and bats and clubs and rackets. One of the few things that gets his attention off of screen time is balls and bats and clubs and rackets and sports. I will utilize Kihei as 5'7" example of anything can happen if you put your mind to something. I had to get that off my chest. All right. Danny O'Day, great comment. Danny O'Day on our I Love SIVO group. We're live on 15 Facebook pages literally as we speak. Makes a very good comment on the I Love SIVO group. And he says, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kihei Clark on Tony's staff before too long. The guy is going to be a coach. He's going to flirt with some time of overseas basketball, but he's going to eventually be a coach. He's one of the most brilliant basketball minds of his generation, Kihei Clark. That's from DOD, Danny O'Day. Good comment right there. A lot of truth to that. Next topic on today's show, my friends, is the Dogwood Carnival moving to the Kmart lot. Ay mi madre. Ay mi madre. I want somebody to explain this to me. Why does it make sense for the Charlottesville Dogwood Carnival to move to an asphalt parking lot in front of a Kmart, a Gold's Gym, and a once epicenter for crazy bread and Little Caesars within the Kmart location? April 14th to May 1. The carnival, one of the focal points of the Dogwood Festival, is going to be on asphalt. Explain this to me, Judah Wickower, please. What is going to happen when they launch the fireworks show at the Kmart location with thousands of cars driving by each? How many cars do you think drive by the Kmart every hour? Both sides of the road? 1,000?
An hour? Is that?
I bet you 1,000 cars drive by the Kmart an hour. Go to a two-shot. I bet you 1,000 cars drive by the Kmart every hour.
Yeah, there's
That's the busiest road.
There's so much traffic heading from, just heading to 250.
On north and south. North and southbound traffic.
Yeah.
And then not only north and southbound, but you got the road that goes between the Kmart and the Kroger and Total Wine right there. Is it the Kroger? There's an ABC store. Is it a Kroger or a Giant? I think it's a Kroger.
Kroger across the street, yeah.
And there's the Total Wine right there. So you got 1,000 of cars, I would bet, and that's a conservative number, north and southbound on 29. Then you got that little cut-through road. What's that road that takes us to 250 called?
That's hydraulic.
That's hydraulic. You got probably another couple hundred at least, more than a couple hundred on that road alone over the course of an hour.
Oh, well, people just going from 29 to 250 is...
Tell me what the hell is going to happen when the fireworks show happens at the Kmart lot and you got 2,000 cars on both those roads driving by during the fireworks show. The grand finale could cause a 19-car pileup. You have the grand finale fireworks show, and Grandma Josephine is heading to Forest Lakes after picking up her bottle of Hennessy, and Grandma Josephine in her 87 Cutlass with her bottle of Hennessy in the back seat is going to Forest Lakes to sip on a couple beverages, and next thing she knows, she sees a grand finale fireworks above the Kmart location. Grandma Josephine is not going to like that. She's going to be scared out of her Josephines. She's going to be terrified. How do you have a fireworks show in the Kmart lot? How do you have a carnival? How do you have a carnival on an asphalt parking lot? How do you have a carnival when the weather could be potentially hot on a surface that radiates heat? Are you not perplexed by that?
Well,
I'm perplexed.
The McIntyre Park fireworks are shot off, how many meters from 250?
Down to Kmart.
Okay, what does Kmart have to do with it?
That's where the location of the fireworks show.
I know, but it's not like they're going to be firing them into the road.
They're going to be firing them up.
Yeah, and like I said, the fireworks at McIntyre Park go off, right next to 250. I'm just providing a.
Oh, I know. You're very good at being the dissenting opinion in many instances around this office space. That's why we make a good team.
I'd be most worried about smoke going into the road, but if they fire them
smoke, not Grandma Josephine.
The fireworks are what? A few hundred feet in the air.
Grandma Josephine's bifocals are going to fall off the face.
Well.
That bottle of Hennessy, she's going to need it in the 87 Cutlass just to make it through the fireworks show to Forest Lakes. You disagree?
Well, it's a good thing that she stopped at the ABC store. I don't know. I would imagine that they're going to vet this more than just like, hey, let's shoot off some fireworks into, directly into 29 traffic.
Tell me about the parking plan for the Kmart location in a carnival. I know that's a big lot. The Kmart's a big lot. But they're going to need spaces for the rides and for the carnival footprint. Where the hell are people going to park? Are they going to play Frogger across from, what's the Kroger shopping center where the Total Wine is in the ABC called?
I don't know if it has a name.
It's got a name. What's the name of that shopping center? Anyone know the name of that shopping center where Total Wine is and Kroger and that ABC store across from the Kmart? What's the name of that shopping center? Grandma Josephine buys her Hennessy there. Grandma Josephine, are you watching? Can you tell me the name of that shopping center, Grandma Josephine? There's got to be a name of that shopping center.
Okay.
Is the idea to play Frogger across that shopping center to get to the carnival across the street? George Costanza couldn't do it. Grandma Josephine certainly can't do it.
No, I wouldn't try it.
How do you guys feel? I kind of bummed about this. I'm a glasses half full kind of guy.
What usually goes on at those festivals?
It's a carnival.
Just the usual. It's just the usual.
It's a carnival.
Okay, I mean, I've never been to one here.
You've never been to a carnival?
I have, just not in Charlottesville.
It's a carnival.
I used to go to them in Maine and
They do carnival
California, but never been to one in Virginia.
It's a carnival. You do carnival stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
You ride some rides.
Yeah, I would imagine
You
they
hope
would
the
need a
rides
lot
have been
more.
serviced.
They would need a lot more parking spots since the tent's going to take up what?
That's what I'm saying.
Most of the room in front of the old Kmart and Gold's Gym.
What is the Kmart? What is the plan for parking to accommodate the Grandma Josephines of the world?
Well, I thought they were going to be driving home with their bottles of whiskey.
Hennessy is not whiskey.
Well, I forgot it was Hennessy.
What is Hennessy? It's a French cognac. Its headquarters in Cognac, France. The big four cognac houses are Martel, Courvoisier, and Remy Martin.
There you go.
Have you ever had Hennessy?
I'm sure I've tried it.
Hennessy's pretty good. I don't mind a little Hennessy. Get a little henned up. Grandma Josephine likes the Hennessy. All right, so that's the news of the day. I found it perplexing. Grandma Josephine's going to play Frogger across from the Kroger to the Kmart parking lot to go to the Dogwood Festival after sipping her Hennessy and her 87 Compass.
With a Hennessy bottle in each hand. That's pretty scary.
That's terrifying. I feel bad for Josephine. Next topic on today's program. There's a business for sale that I find actually for once in very few times do you see businesses that have asking prices off the bat that are legitimately appropriate. This one I think very well could be. So the business is located behind Coors Brothers Ice Cream next to Sam Kitchen right off of 29 North. It's called Attic Articrafts Thrift Store. The asking price is $25,000. You're buying the business, not the real estate. You're buying the business, not the real estate. Now, the first thing that you're going to ask is, what's total revenue for the business? Total revenue for the business is over $43,000. And people are going to be like, Jerry, $43,000 total revenue for this thrift store business, and they're asking 25 G's? Come on, Jer. I say, hear me out. Hear me out. The rent for this business, the landlord is charging the thrift store just over $2,000 a month in rent. Your product is donated to you. It's a couple that's running the business. So there are no CAM fees, no common area maintenance fees. Your yearly rent, we'll call it $24K, your main piece of overhead right there. Of course, you're going to have some insurance. Maybe you get a part-time employee, but it's a thrift store. The product is being donated to you. For the $25K asking price, you purchase all existing inventory on the floor and in storage, a 14-foot box truck, and a POS system, an eBay store, a website, a Google listing, and a Yelp page. This thrift store has been at its current location behind Coors Brothers since November of 2017, coming on 5 years now. Look, VMV Brands, the logo you see behind me is a branding and advertising agency. We build websites for clients often at this company. And our charge for the website alone, for building the website, mobile and desktop alone for our clients, can be between $5,000 and $10,000. Just the website. And Judah, you say to me all the time, Jerry, you're undercharging. How often? Can you go on the two-shot? And do you not say that all the time? What do you say all the time? Charge more. Do you not
Yeah.
say that all the time?
Yeah, I've commented on the low prices, and
So you see who the greedy capitalist over here is. I'm not saying it's you.
No, I know.
But you do say charge more. Dude, they're asking 25 G's. You're buying the inventory, a box truck,
Mm-hmm.
a POS system, an eBay store, a website, the Google listing, the Yelp page, the social media, all the inventory on the floor, and the inventory that's in storage. The rent is $24K a year. They're asking 25.
Sounds like the best deal in town.
This is not priced poorly. If I was you guys, and in the listing it says they want to sell by April 1, that's in 8 days. If I was somebody that was interested in purchasing this, dude, think about this from a fundraising capacity if you're a nonprofit or if you're a church. A nonprofit or a church having volunteers staff the thrift store, volunteers from the church or the nonprofit, no labor costs, staffing the thrift store, and it's used as a revenue stream incremental. That's one of my favorite words is incremental.
I know.
Incremental Lloyd. Incremental Michael. Incremental Cena. Incremental Brian. A1. Incremental Juan. Incremental revenue for a nonprofit or a church.
Yeah.
Waiting to happen. 25 G's asking price. Come in with a counter at 17 or 19K. See what happens. That's one of the few that are actually priced well out of the gates.
Yeah.
Behind Coors Brothers, guys. And speaking of Juan, Cena, Brian, Michael, and Lloyd, the five amigos. Can you go back to the two shot? You're laughing over there. Every time you laugh, I find it hilarious when you laugh there. What do you think? Why'd you laugh when I said the five amigos? When I said Juan, Cena, Brian, Lloyd, Michael?
I mean, is anybody out there not picturing them with sombreros and?
Some cervezas?
Well, I'm just thinking, the three amigos.
Five amigos. No, sombreros and cold cocktails in plastic cups while walking the downtown mall. That's what I'm picturing them doing.
Fair enough.
Lee Vogler, 3-term Danville City Councilor on the program on Friday. Lee Vogler, the youngest vice mayor in Danville, Virginia history, will join us on the show on Friday to showcase the positive incremental,
Meaning in increments.
incremental revenue potential that's associated with the designated outdoor refreshment area. All right, let's go college tuition. Do you remember what your college tuition was? This is Savannah College of Art and Design's proudest and finest and most talented over here, Judah Wickhauer. Savannah College of Art and Design is a bona fide institution. SCAD is bona fide. Do you remember what your tuition was?
I think maybe it was just south of 24,000 a year.
Damn.
That's what I think, but
That's a lot of money.
yeah, and that was
You better give Big Jim and what's Ma Dukes' name?
Ann.
You better give Big Jim and Ann a hug today.
I will.
24 G's
I'm
a
going
year
to pick them up at the airport tonight.
today.
Yeah.
Tell them thank you for paying for my college tuition. That's a lot.
Yeah. They didn't pay for all of it, but
You're saying you paid for some.
yeah, they definitely helped.
Do you see these numbers? This is tuition and fees alone. Go to the I Love Seville Instagram. Pull out your phones right now. Put I Love Seville into Instagram. And follow I Love Seville on Instagram. We have the third largest following in the community behind UVA in the city of Charlottesville. Follow I Love Seville Instagram right now for knowledge and education, entertainment, enlightenment, everyday fodder, if you may. Tuition and fees for in-state students alone, 2021-2022 school year. William and Mary, $23,812. I grew up in Williamsburg. The first beer I had outside of Pat Whitehead's basement when I was a kid was at the College Deli in Williamsburg. I think I was 15 years old, drinking Natural Light pitchers on the outside patio. College Deli, Paul's Deli, the Greenleaf Cafe, essentially the nightlife of William and Mary in Williamsburg. Anyway, I digress. William and Mary is a bona fide school. A lot of people do not realize this. The academic requirements to get into William and Mary are often more stringent than to get into the University of Virginia. However, more people apply to the University of Virginia where I went, UVA, which because of that additional supply of people looking to pursue a UVA degree makes it more difficult. But on paper, the requirements to get into William and Mary on paper, I'm not talking about the supply and demand issue that happens because UVA is flooded with applications because of Charlottesville and because of the notoriety of the University of Virginia from a brand recognition globally. Its brand recognition, UVA's, it has more equity or brand reach than William & Mary's does. And because of that equity and brand reach, more people apply to attend the University of Virginia than William & Mary. And because of those additional applications, UVA ends up being harder to get into. But if just you're looking at SATs, I don't know if SATs are even counted anymore. This whole completely revolutionized the criteria to get into school. But grades and extracurriculars and ACTs and SATs and PSATs and REM and Run DMCs and the DMBs and the PPPs and the PPEs and the APVs and all those Levi's and Fruit of the Looms that they consider before you get in there, the BVDs. William & Mary is harder to get into than UVA. College of William & Mary in Williamsburg has a fees and tuition yearly in 21-22 school year of $23,812. That is an astronomical amount of money. That doesn't even include room and board. That does not even include disposable income for fun and entertainment. That doesn't include travel, parents needing hotels to spend the night to visit their offspring. That doesn't include textbooks. That doesn't include extracurricular courses or traveling abroad or costs associated with clubs or sporting events, concessions. $23,812 for fees and tuition alone at William & Mary. UVA's in the 2 slot at $17,410. VCU $15,028 in the 3 slot. Christopher Newport in the 4 slot at $14,924. Virginia Tech in the 5 slot at $14,175. You got Virginia State 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Virginia State is 13th. They're only doing 13 here. Are there only 13 public institutions in the Commonwealth? Dave Norris, that just made me laugh out loud. I'm responding to former Mayor Dave Norris, who just left this comment. He goes, "I love you, Jerry, but Paul's Deli is where it's at. Team Paul's." I love Paul's Deli. I love the hot gringo, and I love the subs at Paul's. The thing is, they were tougher on IDs, Dave Norris. When I was 15, I could only get into the College Deli. Paul's was busting balls on IDs. I was 15. And when I was 15 years old, I had that peach fuzz above my lip to try to make myself look older. And that peach fuzz, part of it was brushed on with my mom's mascara. So I look like a prepubescent 15-year-old version of myself with mascara above my upper lip just to drink $2 Natural Light pitchers on the patio of College Deli. Neil Williamson says he's Team Paul's as well. Neil Williamson, I cannot wait to see you on Friday. Neil Williamson, I would pony up to Paul's Deli and eat a couple hot gringos and drink some cold beers or some well-hung Vineyards wine with you and Dave Norris every day of the week. Love some Neil Williamson, Sir Neil Williamson, king of content Neil Williamson. He's going to be in studio on Friday with Sean Tubbs and Keith Smith and myself. Guys, This college model is not sustainable. William & Mary, when you factor in everything else, is going to be in-state basically 50 G's. And Neil Williamson, the king of content, has shared the ranking of the most expensive colleges in Virginia. What do you think is the most expensive? Everybody that's watching the program, what do you think is the most expensive college in Virginia? Everything included. This cost includes tuition, room and board, estimated off-campus living expenses, books, supplies, and other fees. Judah Wickhauer, two shot, please. What do you guys think is the most expensive college, everything included, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, public or private? I give you a huge hint right there. Do you have a guess?
Nope.
I dated a girl that went there. She was 2 years older than me.
VCU?
I was a sophomore. She was a freshman in college. Older gal. Older lass.
Okay.
Older muchacha. No, not VCU. That's a public school. Obviously, it's a private school. At least guess a private school in Virginia. Are you looking at private school? You want me to just tell you? Should I just tell you?
Is it William & Mary?
William & Mary, we just decided was public.
Okay. I don't know all the schools in Virginia.
Okay. I know I'm putting you on the
Here,
spot.
let me look some up.
No, I'll tell you.
Public
Washington and Lee University, WNL. All inclusive, everything included for WNL. What do you think the cost is?
That was my third guess.
I knew you were going to get it right. I know you were going to get it right. Judah, everything that was written on your face said you were going to get that right. I know you were going to get that right. What do you think total cost, everything included for 1 year at WNL is?
Food, board, transportation. Let's say $75,000 a year.
Damn, Judah, dude.
Close.
$75,315.
Hey,
Bravo, chico, muy bueno.
lucky guess.
No, that wasn't a lucky guess. You
Yeah, it
study
was.
data like this all the time, and you knew it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That was in your vernacular, your vocabulary.
That's a reach.
75 G's a year, 75,315 to go to WNL, all inclusive. University of Richmond in the 2 slots, 71,390. Hampton Sydney in the 3 slots, 63,186. Roanoke College 4 slots, 62,600. Randolph-Macon 5 slot, 57 G's, basically 58 G's. That's a link courtesy the king of content, Neil Williamson, which you could find in the comments section of my Facebook page. Roger West got it right. Washington and Lee. WNL is the most expensive. Scott Aaronworth, yes sir. Scott Aaronworth is a talented Esquire from Virginia Beach. Roger West, Washington and Lee is the most expensive. I want somebody to understand something, or I want somebody to ask this question. If public school tuition in fees at William & Mary is $23,000, let's call it $24K. By the time you pay room and board, books, and all that other jazz, you're sniffing $50K. You're going to be between $40 and $50. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to figure that the room alone is going to be $1,500 a month. That's 18 G's.
It depends.
All right, you want to call it 1,000? Let's be conservative. We'll call it 1,000.
I still think that's a lot, isn't it?
No.
I mean, if you're living alone.
The schools make dorms profit centers.
Well, yeah.
You know what?
They really.
Have you ever gone to
a single dorm room by yourself goes for $1,000 to $1,500 a month?
You guys want to know why when you play golf, somewhere, what is the one thing the boys and gals and the pro shop are trying to push to you every time you play golf?
Tees.
No. The wood tees that are a nickel a pop. There's no profit margin in nickel a pop tees.
Eyes on t-shirts.
Eyes on t-shirts?
Shirts, not t-shirts.
What are they trying to push to you in the pro shop every time you play golf?
New shoes.
Golf carts. golf carts.
I didn't know they sold those.
Why
in
do the pro shops try not to sell the golf cart fee? Why do they push the golf carts to you? Because the carts are paid for, and they can charge you $40 to $60 just to drive the cart around the course. If you charge, let's just call it a $40 18-hole cart fee. $40 18-hole cart fee, $40. Let's say you get 200 golfers a day. I bet you that number is low. On the weekends, it's probably more. Let's just factor in 200 golfers a day. 40 times 200. Now, not all of them are going to get a cart.
And some are going to double up.
Even if you double up, you still get a cart fee.
Both people?
It depends on the course. Some courses monetize that way. Let me just do this. I'll call it a $40 fee, and I'm going to say 100 golfers a day. Not everyone's going to get the cart. Some people are going to walk, and I'll even include Judah's double up, where someone's going to sit shotgun and not rent a cart, and they're going to split the $40. So I'll call it 40 Bs a day, 40 bones, 40 smacks, 40 greenbacks a day, times 100 people. Mm-hmm. That's 4 Gs, times 7 days a week. It's $28,000. And we're going to say that golf course is going to take January, February, and March off. I'll tell you what. A lot of golf courses are open January, February, and March because the weather in Central Virginia can be schizophrenic as all get out. So 28,000, and I'm going to say it's 44 weeks a year.
Okay.
8 weeks off. 28,000 times 44 is $1,232,000 in revenue associated with cart fees. That's a profit center. Dorm rooms are profit centers. Off-campus, off-grounds housing, more expensive than dorm rooms. I would say William & Mary, UVA, all in with all the jazz, the pitchers at Paul's Deli, the cocktails at Paul's Deli, the hot gringos and hot hollies at College Deli and Paul's Deli, or the crusties at the Biltmore, the burger of the month at Boylan, the Bombs, burger of month, Boylan burger of month, BOM, that's the acronym.
Boylan, I thought it was burger of month.
Boylan, oh no, it's burger
Boylan?
of month, Boylan, BOM.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because if it was Boylan burger of month, it would be
B-bomb.
It would be B-bomb. B-bomb. Bomb is a better acronym than B-bomb.
Yeah.
Don't you think? We're in the branding business.
It definitely works a little better.
Burger of month. Good call.
Come get your B-bomb.
Yeah, go get your B-bomb. What? William & Mary and UVA are sniffing 50K. So let's talk about this. Let's talk the pros and cons of this. First, the pros, because we're positive, glasses half full kind of people. I'm a positive person. Glasses half full kind of people. Next time you see these kids walking, and this is in-state. I don't even know what out-of-state. I don't have the data for out-of-state. I'm sure we can find it. King of Content, Neil Williamson, can find this lickety-split. Let's just do in-state alone. Next time you see those annoying, I was an annoying college student. I was extremely annoying UVA college student. I can assure you that. Next time you see, Judah's like, yeah, I know. I've known that. He goes, thank you, Judah. 10 years of working together. Next time you see one of those annoying college students jump in front of your car on West Main Street by the Bank of America ATM, realize this. That annoying college student is paying 50 G's a year to almost get hit.
Are you saying put him out of his misery?
No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that annoying college student is paying basically 50 G's a year to potentially get hit by your Honda CR-V, your Ford Explorer, or Judah's fantastic, is it a Fusion?
I believe it is.
A Ford Fusion. They're paying 50 G's a year. So you understand how UVA students are so impactful for the local economy. They're freaking wealthy. In-state alone is $50K. God knows what the out-of-state students are paying, and a huge percentage of the UVA population is out-of-student kids. So if their mommies and daddies and their families can afford 50 G's in-state, even more out-of-state, guess what they're doing to the local economy? They're driving it, and they're driving it some more. Okay? So anytime an annoying college student jumps in front of your car at the Bank of America on West Main, realize they're paying $50,000 to basically get killed and run over by you. And that they're good for the business we call Charlottesville. Lastly, ask yourself this. If college is that expensive to go to, it is essentially pricing out middle-class families. A middle-class family is going to have a hard time paying 50 G's a year in-state for their kid to go to college. So not only has college become so expensive that low-income families can't afford it, it's become so expensive that not even middle-income families can afford it. We've created an educational ecosystem strictly focused on wealthy sperms and eggs. If your sperm and egg touches, and you're born into a family that's wealthy, you can go to college. If your sperm and egg touches, and you're born into a family that's middle class, college ain't for you, dog. College ain't for you. It's unfortunate. And I would encourage all the parents that are watching this program to start a college saving fund, a 529 immediately. I would encourage you to influence and emphasize your offspring, your sperm and egg, to stay in state. And I would also encourage your sperm and egg to consider the value, Judah loves that, to consider the value proposition of a community college that has a track system to a four-year school. Something like Piedmont, where if you get a GPA of 3.0 or above, you're guaranteed admission to any in-state public school. 2 years of community will help offset the cost of four-year college. Heck, you could probably live even at home. And lastly, for the parents that are watching, I would very much encourage you guys to consider the value proposition associated with trades. Plumber, electrician, skilled carpenter. The plumbers, the electricians, the skilled carpenters are commanding top dollar, making six-figure salaries. And the apprenticeship associated with those skilled trades does not require student debt. You actually make money during the apprenticeship. You're not going into debt learning the trade. You're being paid during the apprentice process. And when the apprentice process is over, have you seen what plumbers and electricians are commanding these days? Like $1.25, $1.50 an hour. More. So consider the val prop of two-year community colleges that have fast-track programs to four-year public school educations when you get a 3.0 GPA or better. Consider the val prop and influence your sperm and egg to consider in-state tuition. And lastly, consider or push or offer guidance to your sperm and egg of the trade schools. Am I reading this wrong?
No.
Good Lord. Go to the I Love Seville Instagram right now and like our Instagram and follow the content, because I think you're going to find it entertaining and educational. Tomorrow, James Pierce, the CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Club. James Pierce is a good man. College football player, quarterback, a guy that is just a good person. Just a good person. He's retiring as CEO of the Central Virginia Boys and Girls Club in the near future. tomorrow we're going to showcase his new facility, the Boys and Girls Club's new facility behind Albemarle High School. I heard a presentation. James gave a presentation this past Thursday for a bunch of us who were playing squash, because they're going to be squash courts at the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm really excited as someone who's been bitten by the squash bug. I have, and many would attest, including my wife. She calls squash the other woman, my wife. I like the fact that squash courts are going to be in a Boys and Girls Club setting, because the sport could potentially become more approachable or played or reachable to athletes and kids that aren't necessarily coming from wealth. One of the tough aspects of the sport of squash is it often is associated with memberships of clubs that require money to join. So there's a barrier of entry to play the sport. The Boys and Girls Club is making the sport accessible to families and parents and kids and athletes that are not just of an upper financial bracket. And that should be championed. Lastly, before I get to some comments, Lee Vogler is on Friday's show. Someone tag Lloyd Snook, Michael Payne, Brian Pinkston, Juan Diego Wade, and Cena McGill, the five amigos, and let them know a 3-term Danville City Councilor and the youngest vice mayor in Danville City, Virginia history is going to join us on the show this Friday at 12:30 to spotlight the designated outdoor refreshment area that's about to be pushed through by City Council for the focus of economic growth, incremental revenue, and alleviating the burden on residents associated with real estate taxes. Charlottesville City Council, did you hear me? This is a good idea. Please listen to the show, Lloyd. Lloyd, please listen to the show on Friday, Lloyd. All right, let's get to some comments. Vanessa Parkhill, Queen of Burleysville. Private colleges have big sticker prices, but also offer robust financial aid packages that often bring the final cost in line with state universities. Very true. I'm giving you a like on that. That's very true. I had the opportunity to maybe play some soccer at Hampton-Sydney College. Financial aid at that level, not scholarship money. The financial aid certainly made the cost of Hampton-Sydney more affordable. Still, I chose the University of Virginia. And I think I made still the right decision. But she's right about that. Danny O'Day, DOD. Shout out to former William and Mary President Reveley, who would refer to out-of-state students as money bags in his annual welcome speech. Good comment there, DOD. Neil Williamson, the 2022 tuition and fees of the University of Virginia main campus are $19,244 for Virginia residents and $53,626 for out-of-state. Neil, you're amazing. Thank you for that. $19,244 tuition and fees for UVA in-state. $53,626 for out-of-state. The 2022 graduate school tuition and fees are $20,906 for Virginia residents and $33 Gs plus for out-of-state residents. Neil Williamson, good stuff. He also adds the total amount of student loan debt. He's the president of the Free Enterprise Forum. Read his platform. Free Enterprise Forum. Neil Williamson, the total amount of student loan debt is over $1.75 trillion. $1.75 trillion of student loan debt. This debt is not only created by recent graduates and current students, it also includes student loan borrowers who have been out of school for over a decade. And Vanessa Parkhill adds, with regard to entering skilled trades, I encourage folks to check out Mike Rowe's podcast, The Way I Heard It, episode number 242, coming out blue collar, college is not for everyone. Vanessa, you are awesome. We need to get you on the show, Vanessa Parkhill. Queen of Burleysville, we need to get you on the show. Sincerely mean that. All right, that's all she wrote. Judah Whitcower, you did a good job today. I'm Jerry Miller. That's the I Love CVille show. Hasta luego, my friends.